Hey guys, what is going on? We are back again with another video. In today's video, we have part 2 of this 3-part series I'm doing this week for Star Wars. So, we had part 1 on Sunday, we have part 2 today, and we have part 3 on Friday. So, on Sunday was my movie review over Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Today, I'm going to be ranking the 3 trilogies, talking about my favorite movie from each trilogy, and then finally talking about my favorite actor/character from each trilogy. On Friday, we're going to be talking about what's in the future for Star Wars. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. So, I'm going to be ranking the trilogies, and as I rank the trilogies, I will talk about which one was my favorite movie, then I'll go on to then the character and actor, and I'll move on to the next trilogy. So, coming in at number 3 as my least favorite trilogy is the sequel trilogy, which includes Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, the reason I have this as my least favorite trilogy ranked number 3 is only because the story did not flow very well from movie to movie, and I felt like with the change of directors, J.J. Abrams the first one, second one Rian Johnson, third one J.J. Abrams again, there was just not a clear path for where the story was going. Now, the main focus of the story did stay the same. We saw the relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey, and we saw that throughout all 3 movies, how that developed, how their characters developed specifically, and what it came out to be in the final episode. Now, with that said, the story just, I don't know, it didn't flow very well. It kind of felt all over the place. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed watching the movies, I loved watching the movies, but I simply have this ranked as number 3 because of the way that the story went and the multiple plot holes that can be found within this trilogy. The main one being, spoiler alert, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker with the Emperor. Honestly, we don't have too much of an explanation as to how the Emperor came to be still alive and how he was able to find his way to Exegol and all that. We do not have an explanation, and that's kind of a big issue with just kind of throwing him in there instead of, truly being able to introduce him and create a story where he kind of fits. The only explanation that we really get is that he's been the voice inside of Kylo Ren's head throughout the 3 movies when he says that he's been every voice he's ever heard, referring to Darth Vader and Snoke, then of course himself. So that's the reason why I rank this trilogy number 3 out of the 3 trilogies, just because of the issues with the story. Now, I personally did enjoy watching all 3 movies. It's just that the way that I felt is that I had to sit down and watch them individually as a movie. It's kind of hard to piece it together, and there's just the issues with I don't see what they came with at us in The Last Jedi when they said that basically that Luke Skywalker tried to kill Kylo Ren because he saw how powerful he was going to be. I don't see that in a character like Luke. There's the issues with Carrie Fisher, who plays Princess Leia when she kind of flies through the air in The Last Jedi. I did not like that. And then obviously the big one is the Emperor, and just how we don't get the explanation as to how he came to be into the story. Now, my favorite film out of these 3, and I bet you could guess this if you watched my movie review over the Rise of Skywalker, it is Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, I really enjoyed this film just because being able to sit down and watch it, I just enjoyed it more than the other 2 films. Last Jedi I would rank last out of the 3 movies, and then it would go The Force Awakens, then The Rise of Skywalker. Because The Force Awakens, I feel like, is kind of similar to The Phantom Menace. Now, don't get me wrong, it's better than The Phantom Menace. I'm saying that right now. But, just we get introduced to all these characters. And, you could even say the same thing with A New Hope. It's the beginning of a new trilogy, so we get introduced to the characters, and we get to see, the development of each character slowly in the first film, and then we got to see him more in the second film, and then the third film I felt like was where the characters for this specific trilogy uh, got to their final point where they were, fully developed as characters. So yeah, I just enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the character development, where it ended for both Kylo Ren and Rey and their relationship and everything. And, just as a sit-down film, I enjoyed watching The Rise of Skywalker more than the other two. Now, my favorite character from this trilogy is easily Rey, played by Daisy Ridley, because, as I've said in my previous two movie reviews over the two of the three movies in this trilogy, is that the character of Rey, we get to see her development, and we just see her go from a scavenger that has no family to kind of being brought into the Resistance, kind of taking on the Resistance as her family, looking at both Han Solo and Luke Skywalker's father figures in a sense, and we see her really develop into a very powerful Jedi towards the end, whenever she is the one that finally kills the Emperor once and for all. So yeah, I enjoy watching Rey out of all the characters. Now, I did like Adam Driver's portrayal of Kylo Ren. My apologies for The Rise of Skywalker. I couldn't think of Adam Driver's name. But yeah, I think he did a very good job with Kylo Ren too, with what he was given. The only thing I didn't like about The Force Awakens was how he was kind of being a Darth Vader wannabe, and then in the next two films, we really got to see character development for him becoming himself, and I really enjoyed that. But Daisy Ridley, for me, did a very good job of Rey. She is the best, in my opinion, at portraying emotion. We see, all these emotional scenes, and she just does a great job at showing true emotion. And, you feel it when you're watching the film. Like, it feels real. So, yeah, she'd be my favorite character out of that trilogy. Now, moving on to number 2, my second-ranked trilogy for the entire Star Wars... Wow. I'm going to leave that in there. For the entire Star Wars saga is the prequels. Now, I have this over the sequels only because, the story flows a bit more. We get to see the rise and fall, really, of Anakin Skywalker. And for me personally, I felt like Hayden Christensen did a good job of portraying who Anakin is. I know a lot of people give him backlash for his portrayal of Anakin Skywalker, but I felt that, for what Anakin is supposed to be, he did a very good job, Now, my least favorite film, I can tell you easily, is Attack of the Clones. Just, for me, the CGI kind of was somewhat overboard. Things didn't look that great. There were times where it looked more like a cartoon than an actual movie. It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't great. And then I was, the Padme Anakin love story. It's supposed to be there, I understand. It's just, I don't know. It was kind of cheesy. Not nearly as bad as the Finn and Rose love story. I did not like that one at all. But yeah, so, I just felt like this trilogy does a very good job of, we get to see both the growth of Obi-Wan, as he is a young Padawan to Master Qui-Gon Jinn, in the first episode, The Phantom Menace, and then, we get to see him kind of take his own role as a Jedi Master, and, take Anakin as his Padawan, and, we get to see a very good relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's one of the best, I think, out of any of the trilogies. This is probably one of the best relationships that we see, and then we, ultimately get to see the fall of Anakin Skywalker in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, my favorite film from this trilogy is Revenge of the Sith. I felt like we got a couple of very good lightsaber battles in this film. Obviously, number one being Anakin and Obi-Wan. I think that Yoda and the Emperor was very good as well. We get to see Mace Windu and the Emperor, which was a nice one. Chancellor Palpatine, whatever you want to call him. But yeah, I think there was a lot of good lightsaber battles. I really enjoyed the story from the third film, and just getting to see the fall of Anakin Skywalker. Everything finally culminating to his ceremonious end as Anakin Skywalker and the birth of Darth Vader. So that was easily my favorite film. Now my favorite actor, favorite character from this trilogy has to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor. I felt that Ewan McGregor just did a great job at portraying Obi-Wan. I just felt like he did a great job, and I think Ewan McGregor is an extremely good actor. So, he did a good job of playing Obi-Wan. I know I've said that like 7 times. It happens. But yeah, Obi-Wan, I like the character. I felt like throughout the films, we get to see his growth as well. And, my favorite character was just Obi-Wan, just because, why not? Don't get me wrong, I like Anakin, but I don't know, Obi-Wan and Ewan McGregor, they just got a special place, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I got for the prequel trilogies. Now, as you can tell, my favorite trilogy out of the 3 trilogies is easily the original trilogy. These 4 movies are very, very good. I feel like the story was almost flawless. In A New Hope, we get the funny scene where the stormtrooper smacks his head. They don't even, cut that out. They just let it happen. I didn't even know that happened. I figured it out like 5 years ago, but every time that I watched the film, I never noticed that. So that was, just something funny. And, the story through A New Hope, getting to see Luke finding Ben Kenobi and Luke kind of just coming out into his own person, going from a simple farm boy to becoming a Jedi, and seeking the help of Yoda to train. And he, in the 5th Empire Strikes Back, he finds out who his father is in Darth Vader, and ultimately getting to the end where we see Luke turn Darth Vader back to the light side, and they kill the Emperor as we thought. Clearly that didn't happen, but these films, in this trilogy are just wonderful. I enjoy watching them every time that I sit down and watch them. The Empire Strikes Back is amazing. Return of the Jedi is amazing. And A New Hope is a very good start to what became a very good trilogy. My favorite film is easily Return of the Jedi. I don't know, I love the Battle on Endor, where we see the Ewoks and everything. This film is it's such a good film for me. We see the death of Yoda on Dagobah. We see Luke kind of travel on his own to meet his father and basically battle him until he's able to turn him to the light side, not turning into the hate that the Emperor wants him to turn to, and, the ultimate defeat of the Emperor and the success of Luke. And, yeah, I just felt like it was a very good film overall, and it was something very fun to watch. Now, my favorite character, favorite actor from this trilogy, easily Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill. He's such a great actor. Anything that he does well. And it all started really with Star Wars. Before he got the role in Star Wars, he was, simply just doing plays in high school, whatever. And, he gets this role given to him by George Lucas to play Luke Skywalker. And, he just takes it, runs with it, does a phenomenal job. And it really was the budding for a great career for him, going on to, do voice overs for the Joker in a cartoon episode, or in a season, or multiple seasons for Batman, and just, he's able to do so well, and he does well in every film that he's in Star Wars, and he's just an enjoyable actor to watch. Now, that's going to conclude what I've got to say here. I want to hear your guys' ideas on what you feel were your favorite trilogies, what were your least favorite, everything about it. Who your favorite actor was in the saga. Just let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from it. Keep it friendly down there. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, because I enjoyed making it for you guys. And if you want to see more, hit that like button, that subscribe button if you want me to keep pumping out videos like this. And, it just lets me know that you guys are liking the stuff that I'm putting out. And, yeah, so basically that'll be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.